Today I've actually bought like my cards.
ओह वाओ, कार्ड्स की पूरी गड्डी है. टिपिकली लोगों के पास प्लेइंग कार्ड्स होते हैं जिससे वो एक फैन बना सकते हैं. दीज आर क्रेडिट कार्ड्स.
हाँ, अभी तो सिर्फ 11 है एंड
सिर्फ 11 है, ऑफ कोर्स.
बट एक्चुअली घर पे एंड लाइक पास्ट क्रेडिट कार्ड्स, क्लोज क्रेडिट कार्ड्स 15-20 होंगे.
आई रिमेंबर सीइंग योर इंस्टाग्राम स्टोरी जहाँ आपने मेंशन किया था कि 2026 में आपका कार्ड स्टैक फिर से चेंज होगा. तो व्हाट डज दैट लुक लाइक?
Those are going to be just these two cards. That is the HDFC Biz Black. This is like an Infinia equivalent, but for business owners. And you can pay your taxes on this, GST on this, all of this, and get a lot of points back. Definitely the best card of 2024, 2025. Burgundy is a very unique card that makes you want to throw away your other cards. This card, when you spend more than 1.5 lakh rupees in a month, then everything above 1.5 lakh rupees is going to give you 35 points per 200 rupees spent, which is triple the number of points.
उसमें कोई कैप है या फिर नहीं?
The cap is there. The cap is your credit limit. I lived alone in Bangalore and one day I got dengue. I got a 103 fever. I was sick. I could not get out of bed. So I called my mom and I was like, Ma, can you come to Bangalore? I need some help. She was looking for a ticket. So I'm like dying, dengue. I'm like, nahi, ruko, main points pe check karta hu.
Oh my god.
And
That's both like sad and funny.
Yeah, and I booked her in at 4,000 points instead of spending 12,000 rupees. तो यहाँ पे मेरा point value 3x हो गया.
आपके हिसाब से एज ऑफ टुडे सबसे एस्पिरेशनल कार्ड कौन सा है?
I think when you talk about flex or aspiration, you talk about FU money. इतना पैसा है that I don't care only. और एक ही FU money card है और वो है Amex Centurion.
What is so special about this card?
Joining fees are $10,000.
That's insane.
On top of that, you have to pay the annual fee of 3 lakh rupees every year.
But क्या इतने benefits मिलते हैं?
No, 99% of the people will not make that money back. But that's the thing, right? Sometimes you pay for something for the flex, for the service, for the benefits. Like the Amex concierge that you get with it will do anything for you. This is a site which is an aggregator for points. So यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो, I'm going Delhi to Amsterdam sometime in let's say February. तो यहाँ पे it will tell me what are the cheapest point options and which airline can I use those points on. So this is like your sky scanner for points and nobody in India even knows.
This is really cool. I had no idea about this tool.
So my next trip next year is going to be planned towards the end of the year for a free trip to Bali, which is a 7.5-8 hour flight. I'll fly business using the points I earn on this. I will stay at luxury hotels using the points I earn on this and get a 4-5 lakh vacation just because I know how.
That is the dream.
आप पहले क्या 3-star होटल में रहते थे या आप Airbnb में रहते थे? एक बार 5-star होटल में जाओ. Then again next vacation पे भी आपको 5-star में ही जाना होगा. Points नहीं भी होंगे, then you'll try to book it on that. Once you sit in business class, you'll try that, okay, फिर से करूँ. Because you don't want to go back to economy. So they want you to taste the luxury so that you eventually spend more. It is a very, very intended tactic.
बीच में आपकी एक रील बहुत वायरल गई थी और जो आपने कहा था कि you saved lakhs in your wedding expenses because of credit cards. How did you manage that?
Yeah, so
Hi Ali, welcome to Moneytalks by Groww. I know you're a credit card whiz and finance content space में जितना मैंने study किया है, you're the go-to person for all things credit cards. So I'm really excited to speak with you today.
thank you for having me. You're actually the talk of the town today with the IPO and everything. So congratulations to you too.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Awesome. But tell me a little bit about your credit card journey. ये शुरू कैसे हुआ? आपका फर्स्ट कार्ड क्या था? एंड एज ऑफ टुडे आपके पास कितने कार्ड्स हैं?
That's a good question. So my journey actually started very early with my parents actually educating me about credit, right? That's very important and it doesn't happen in today's world in India because our parents think credit cards are bad. They're a debt trap. They make you spend more. All of those things, very true in their own way, right? I was fortunate enough to spend 10 years of my childhood in the US. So over there, credit cards are a norm. It's a very common thing to get a credit card early, use it for certain businesses, cash flow, get it for rolling money, get it for points, all of those things. I learned from experience by seeing how they were using their cards and how prevalent it was. जब पहली जॉब मिली मुझे 10 years back or so. Axis Bank का salary account I opened that was partnered with the job that I had. Like anytime you get your first job, you start your first salary, they'll open salary account. And at that point of time, I specifically went and I said, मुझे ये salary account के साथ credit card भी चाहिए. Right? I wasn't earning a lot of money. I wasn't spending a lot of money. घर पे रहता था, थोड़ा 4-5 हज़ार बाहर का खाना, that's about it. I wanted to see मुझे कितना limit मिलेगा, how can I get better cards in the future, and what the game was. And ये सब मुझे पहले से पता नहीं था. I wasn't aspiring from day one कि मैं ये कार्ड से स्टार्ट करूँगा and 5 साल बाद मुझे ये कार्ड चाहिए. There was no road map that time. Credit cards, there is no book like you can read like finance के हाँ ये करना चाहिए.
ये है level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Credit cards are pure practical experience. That's why you see most of the credit card experts have at least 10-15 years of credit card usage and then they're able to come and talk to you कि हाँ ऐसे यूज़ करना चाहिए.
काफ़ी एनेक्डोटल होता है. तो ये पहला कार्ड कौन सा था?
और वो पहला कार्ड था एक्सिस नियो. सबसे बेसिक कार्ड है एक्सिस का. बेनिफिट्स कुछ नहीं है. मुझे 20,000 का लिमिट मिला था. आई डिडंट स्पेंड मच ऑन इट बट आई कंसिस्टेंटली स्पेंड 3-4 हज़ार whatever my basic spends were. After 1 or 2 years it got upgraded into the Axis Select card. वो कार्ड में भी ज़्यादा कुछ बेनिफिट्स नहीं थे. दे जस्ट हैड लाइक स्विगी डिस्काउंट्स, बुक माई शो डिस्काउंट्स, आई गॉट इंटरनेशनल लाउंज एक्सेस. सो इसको सॉफ्ट बेनिफिट्स बोलते हैं. वट एवर इज़ अ गुड टू हैव दैट इज़ नॉट कमिंग फ्रॉम द पॉइंट्स वी कंसिडर हार्ड बेनिफिट्स. कि मैं 100 रुपये खर्च कर रहा हूँ, मुझे 10 पॉइंट मिल रहे हैं. दैट इज़ अ हार्ड बेनिफिट. मुझे ये टैंजिबल वैल्यू मिल रहा है. आई still have that today. I've actually bought like my cards.
Oh wow, you have all your cards here.
Yeah, most of them are active and some of them I'm going to cancel. So this was the Axis Select card that I started out with. It was the Neo card which got upgraded to Select and I still have it. But I don't use it much now because there's better cards and I've upgraded.
Wow,
I can see you like
पूरी गड्डी है. You know, typically लोगों के पास playing cards होते हैं जिससे वो एक fan बना सकते हैं. These are credit cards.
हाँ, अभी तो सिर्फ 11 है. And
सिर्फ 11 है, of course.
but actually घर पे and like past credit cards, closed credit cards 15-20 होंगे. And that's not a lot. That over a 10-year journey, if you have started early, हर साल आप 1 या 2 कार्ड्स लिए हो, अपग्रेड किए हो. क्योंकि कार्ड्स डिवैल्यू भी बहुत होते हैं, राइट? लाइक दे कीप चेंजिंग. तो एक कार्ड 1 साल यूज़ किए, इवन इफ यू लाइक द कार्ड बट वो बेनिफिट्स नहीं रहे, सो यू हैव टू कैंसिल इट एंड चेंज इट. सो इट्स अ वेरी कॉमन प्रैक्टिस वंस यू गेट इनटू द गेम.
But so do you carry these at all points in time? How
Oh,
do the
absolutely
logistics
not.
work?
Like I've brought these for the podcast, but my
acha.
wallet is literally my Aadhaar card, my driver's license, and 2 credit cards. That's it. It's a very thin 4 card का wallet. That's it.
जब आपने अपनी क्रेडिट कार्ड जर्नी स्टार्ट की थी, यू मेंशन कि यू रियली वांटेड अ कार्ड प्रीटी बैडली. तो उस टाइम थॉट प्रोसेस क्या था? वाज इट टू बिल्ड अ क्रेडिट हिस्ट्री? वाज इट टू जस्ट हैव अ क्रेडिट कार्ड एंड फ्लेक्स करना?
A little bit of both, but it was 2 things for me. One was to build a credit history because it was a norm कि मेरे parents भी किए, this is the right financial decision. And I was someone who was interested in personal finance from the get-go. Even I started SIPs very early. I got a term insurance plan at 23.
Whoa.
So I was very financially literate, personally speaking, because I read a lot.
लेट्स कम टू सिबिल स्कोर, क्योंकि उसके अराउंड भी काफ़ी क्वेश्चंस होते हैं. ऑडियंस के कॉन्टेक्स्ट के लिए, व्हाट इज़ अ सिबिल स्कोर एंड व्हाट इज़ द गुड, बैड एंड अगली इन अ सिबिल स्कोर? क्या एस्पिरेशनल है एंड क्या मतलब बिल्कुल ही अवॉइड करना चाहिए, किस लेवल पे?
CIBIL is actually a synonym for credit, but it's not. For example, जब आप पेपर को कॉपी करते हो वो फोटो कॉपी बोलते हैं, जेरोक्स नहीं बोलते, बट जेरोक्स इज द ब्रांड. करेक्ट? सो
करेक्ट.
your credit score is what matters. CIBIL is a credit bureau, which is the most prominent credit bureau in India, which gives you a score. CIBIL जैसे बहुत सारे हैं. There's 3 of them in specific. There's CIBIL, there's Experian, and there's CRIF in India. Now in the US there are different ones as well. So CIBIL is the most prominent one, where banks mostly look at CIBIL score. Sometimes they look at the Experian and CRIF also, but CIBIL is the biggest one they look at. CIBIL scores go from 300 to 900. That's the range of the score you can have.
Okay.
ठीक है? And there are different metrics that they have.
Sounds like GMAT.
Kind of like that.
Right?
Yeah, but for your financial health. Any score that's above 700 is good, is a
Okay.
good score. Any score above 750 is a great score,
Okay.
and any score above 800, like 900 का band रहता है, any score above 800 is considered like an excellent score. Matters for a lot of reasons. It's not just to get a credit card, but let's say you want to buy a new car and get a car loan, or you want to buy a house. Your CIBIL score matters for buying a house also. आपका 700, मेरा 800 है, for example.
I think we should reverse example.
We can do that. ठीक है, आपका 800 है, मेरा 700 है. In that scenario, मुझे actually housing loan maybe 9.5% या 9% का मिल सकता है. आपको मिलेगा 8% in terms of the interest we have to pay.
That 1% or 1.5% can also make so much difference. Final amount.
20 साल का लोन है, and probably in crores if you're buying a house in Bombay at least. So that's where that can save you lakhs of rupees just by starting early.
Insane. Okay, but अगर कोई student है, let's say there is no regular income stream, लेकिन उनको एक credit history build करनी है, तो उनका starting point क्या होना चाहिए?
Correct. So there's two types of people. One, जिनका salary है, stable income है, they can just show salary slips to whatever bank they have and get a card. And जो freelancer हो, who's probably working on a Fiverr or an Upwork and just has their freelance gigs going on, and they don't have a stable income, it's very, very difficult for them to get a credit card. Now, before I tell you how to get it, it's very important to understand why it's difficult, because I get thousands of DMs saying मेरा card reject हो गया, I'm earning money, मेरा ITR भी file किया है, all of that is there. But the thing is, what you don't understand is when you get a credit card, you get a 2 lakh rupee limit. That is indirectly an unsecured loan that the bank is giving you. और अगर आप भाग गए, bank कुछ नहीं कर सकता है.
Okay.
Bank cannot chase you to another country. Bank can harass you to pay the money, or not even harass, it's their right to reach out to you and try to get that money if you're in the country or whatever, or if you pass away or if something bad happens. The bank can't go to your mom or your brother and say, hey, they had a 2 lakh bill, you have to pay it. It's an unsecured loan. So a bank is always going to check 10 times, check CIBIL, check credit history, check if they are earning a salary, if they can repay that bill or not, before they give you that unsecured loan. So bank will still give you a card, but that has to be FD backed.
FD backed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fixed deposit आप बनाओ वो बैंक में. Let's say आप 1 लाख रुपए का fixed
तो
deposit
वो
बना रहे हो.
collateral बन जाता है फिर.
Yes. So even if you run away or whatever happens, or if you don't have the documentation to support that, yes, I am a good candidate for an unsecured loan, that's fine. You maybe don't have a fixed income, you have your way of working, you have an FD that's earning you 6-7%. वो आपका, what do you call it, emergency fund भी हो सकता है. You can get a credit card against that. There are many FD backed cards. There's honestly no best one, क्योंकि all of them have the same logic. मतलब आप FD बनाओ, आपको card मिलेगा, and there are basic soft benefits, Myntra discounts, Zomato discounts and all of that in ease of use or easy to get. I personally like the Kotak 811 Super Money card. ये भी release हुआ है, but the reason I say this is because Kotak 811 used to be a digital savings account by Kotak, which they used to promote very heavily a few years back, where you could open a digital savings account, get 6-7% interest. I think it was 6 just in a savings account, right? And now they've partnered where वो savings account से आप FD बना लो, and from there you can get a credit card also from that FD. So it's actually a seamless digital process. So that's the only benefit. I think you can get any FD backed card. I'm not promoting any of them here, but I like that one because it's just seamless to apply. I feel like the biggest problem for someone in their 20s or someone Gen Z today is like, यार बैंक नहीं जाना, ब्रांच में बात नहीं करना, उधर किससे बात करना है, क्या करना है, डॉक्यूमेंट फिल करना है. सो ऑनलाइन अभी क्रेडिट कार्ड अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, सब कर सकते हैं. सो इट हैज़ एन ऑनलाइन प्रोसेस, दैट्स व्हाई इट्स इजी.
एक और चीज़ जो मैंने नोटिस किया है, काफ़ी लोग जो अपनी क्रेडिट कार्ड जर्नी शुरू करना चाहते हैं, दे थिंक इन्फिनिया और नथिंग, या फिर यू नो एमेक्स प्लैटिनम और नथिंग, बट उसकी वजह से देयर कार्ड एप्लीकेशंस ऑल्सो गेट रिजेक्टेड क्योंकि दे डोंट हैव इनफ हिस्ट्री टू बैक दैट एप्लीकेशन, राइट? जैसे हमने अभी बात की. तो इन दैट सिचुएशन कितना टाइम लगता है टू बिल्ड अ रिस्पेक्टेबल सिबिल स्कोर?
To build a good CIBIL score, it takes, I would say personally, at least 2 to 3 years. However, it's not only about CIBIL score. For example, अब अगर आप 1 साल से कार्ड यूज़ कर रहे हो, पे कर रहे हो ऑन टाइम, you'll have a good CIBIL score. आप अभी कोई भी ऐप लाइक गूगल पे खोल के सिबिल स्कोर चेक कर सकते हो. इवन इफ यूर अ 22-23 year old kid, you might have a 750 score if you've just used a card for 6-8 months. The other factor is that these cards like an Infinia or an Amex Platinum require a high ITR. So for example, Amex Platinum requires a 25 lakh salary yearly. Infinia requires a 60 lakh, 5 lakhs a month in your account. So that's 60 lakhs in a year. और वो भी net है. मतलब if your salary is 90 lakhs, 30% tax काट के आपको 60 hoga. So if you have a 90 lakh salary and you walk into HDFC bank and say I have an Infinia, they'll give it to you. But they'll tell you to make a salary account here, or they'll ask you for an FD, or they'll ask you to build some relationship with them. So it's not hard to get if you have the money. But no one wants to park unnecessary money or change relationships with banks just for a card.
Yeah, that makes sense. आपके हिसाब से एज ऑफ टुडे सबसे एस्पिरेशनल कार्ड कौन सा है? पहले एट सम पॉइंट इट यूज्ड टू बी इन्फिनिया, फिर आई थिंक मैग्नस बर्गंडी हो गया, मतलब उसमें भी काफ़ी डिबेट होता है, लेकिन डू यू थिंक इट्स ईदर ऑफ देम या दिस अ थर्ड कार्ड?
I think when you talk about flex or aspiration, you talk about FU money. वो
Yeah.
मतलब इतना पैसा है that I don't care only. और
Correct.
एक ही FU money कार्ड है और वो है Amex Centurion.
What is so special about this card?
This is the Amex Platinum. This card has a fee of 80,000 rupees or 78,000 rupees just to get the card, right?
Oh.
और अगर आप ये कार्ड लेते हो और आप 1-2 साल यूज़ करते हो और even more, and if you have crores of spending, then you get an invite. We would like you to join our Centurion program and get the Amex Centurion card. Amex will only invite you. You can't apply.
अच्छा.
Now, they invite you. But then if you want to join, joining fees are $10,000, which is 9 lakh rupees almost.
That's insane.
On top of that, joining fees के साथ annual fees भी लगते हैं. You have to pay the annual fee of 3 lakh rupees every year.
बट क्या इतने बेनिफिट्स मिलते हैं कि इट इज एबल टू बैलेंस इट आउट और एटलीस्ट
No.
गिव यू नेट पॉजिटिव?
You will never make that 12 lakh rupees back that you have spent, even if you use all the cards, all the points, all the return, all the accelerators we talk about. Very rarely, almost 99% of the people will not make that money back. But that's the thing, right? Sometimes you pay for something for the flex, for the service, for the benefits. Like the Amex concierge that you get with it will do anything for you. Like you want a reservation at Bastion tomorrow, you'll get that. You want to ship an iconic shoe that's only available in Japan, they'll get that done for you.
ये
Lots
सभी
of things.
करते हैं.
They'll do a lot of things for you like that. Like, and you can give 4 add-on cards or 3 add-on cards to your family members also. So for example, your mom wants to go to Singapore, just call up the help me with my visa, something or the other. They'll figure it out for you. They'll help
Oh,
you.
wow,
You're stuck
okay.
in another country, bro, I have a health problem, I'm stuck in a country, can you sort me out? They will send an ambulance your way. So they do a lot of things. So it's the service, it's the flex, and it's what you do when you have money that you don't, when you don't care about the money as much.
आई गेस एक एमेक्स एम्प्लॉय के जेडी में तो क्या क्या नहीं है.
Exactly.
एम्बुलेंस चाहिए वो भी है, वीज़ा प्रॉब्लम वो भी है. Insane. So if someone is starting out their credit card journey, उनको क्या प्रायोरिटाइज करना चाहिए? Should it be a lifetime free card या फिर जो spending based reward cards है जैसे this type of card, वो उनको प्रायोरिटाइज करना चाहिए?
So someone who's starting off on their journey should get any basic card, free or 500 rupees, whatever the base fee is. You should get a card for the sole reason to build your CIBIL score and get a credit card ka tag. Right, that I have a credit card. A lot of digital processes today have a simple logic, new to credit or existing to credit. अगर आपके पास कोई credit card नहीं है, you come under new to credit category and 90% you'll get rejected for future cards. The moment you get your first card, you become existing to credit. These are terms that banks use. So when you get a basic card, 6 months you use it, like an Axis Neo that I got. 6 महीने बाद, then you upgrade to a good cashback card. Depending on your spends. आप Swiggy पे ज़्यादा करते हो, get the Swiggy HDFC card. If you shop at West Side, things like that, get the Tata Neo card. If you use Zomato, things like that, again, the Tata Neo card gives you discounts on Zomato. So it depends on your usage, where you want the cash back. If you travel a lot and you're someone just starting out, can't get a really good card, get the Scapia card. It's good for travelers starting out. You learn using these things.
And बीच में you spoke about debt traps that are often associated with credit cards. तो वहाँ पे whenever you pay a bill एक minimum amount due भी होता है, and काफ़ी लोग उसके ही trap में फंस जाते हैं. They just pay the minimum amount and not realizing कि annual interest उस पे some 45-50%. अगर किसी ने वो amount pay कर दिया, the minimum amount due, and they fallen into this debt trap, how can they get out of this?
Yeah, so you should ideally never be paying that minimum due. Let's say you have already paid that minimum due and you're stuck in a loop where your interest is so high and you can't get out of it. I used to tell people, get a personal loan from a bank or something, pay off that credit card bill, क्योंकि personal loan का भी interest rate 12-13% होता है.
Which is still lower than 45, 50,
Correct,
I
right?
guess.
And you can figure out an EMI plan with them. The problem is a lot of times your CIBIL score gets hit because you've not paid your bill on time, or you're paying, let's say, continuously minimum due, or maybe you, like I said, you've missed a couple of payments, so your CIBIL score drops. Now, when you go to a bank and tell them I want a loan, and they check your CIBIL, you don't even have means of getting a loan at a good interest rate. Maybe you'll get a loan from a small finance bank at 16-17%. That's not good either. But in those situations, I don't think there's any other way out except for maybe having family look to help you to pay that off initially, pay off that credit card bill, and then pay your family back, pay whoever back, but don't get stuck into a debt cycle. And that's why it's so hard to get out, because there are such few ways of getting out of that debt trap, because no one's going to help you with a loan because you have bad CIBIL.
And then वो perpetuate होते रहता है, वो vicious cycle.
The moment you're using next month's money for today's happiness, you consider yourself getting into that trap or into that situation. Because अभी अरे लोलापुलूजा के टिकट्स आ रहे, कॉन्सर्ट के टिकट्स आ रहे, 5,000 10,000 रुपए, अभी पैसे नहीं है, क्रेडिट कार्ड यूज करके पे ऑफ कर देंगे.
वही that BNPL वाला system.
It is literally the whole concept.
Wow, thanks for that very important reminder. But आपकी credit card journey में what is the biggest redemption you've made and what was that experience?
In hindsight, it's not that big, but like at that time it was big. I bought my car, wasn't a very expensive down payment. I put about 7.5 lakhs down on a car. And that time the dealer didn't even charge me 2%. Sometimes the dealer charges you some fee when you pay by card. The dealer didn't charge me anything. और ये 2022 में था, so about 3-4 years back.
Which car was this?
It was a Volkswagen Polo. I bought it, right?
Nice.
And now what happened was I bought that car, and it was the era of the Magnus card.
Okay.
Right? Now in today's day and age, Magnus Burgundy is the best card, one of them. But Magnus alone was a card by itself also. Or 2022 में it used to give you insane returns, 25-30%. अब अगर 1 लाख रुपए spend कर रहे हो, you used to get 30% back in points.
Oh.
Right? But only on the first 1 lakh every month. So what I did was that I went in August and I swiped 1 lakh. In September I swiped 1 lakh, like August 31st or September 1st, दो अलग-अलग दिन पे. So I got 30% back on 1 lakh.
Got it.
Because I shuffled it between 2 months. Then I used the Amex Plat Travel card, which is a great card to spend 4 lakh rupees on. अब 4 लाख spend करते हो तो आपको I think 10-12% return मिलता है उस पे. So I put 4 lakhs on the Amex Plat Travel, 2 lakhs on the Magnus. ऐसे करके मैं 2-3 मशीन सामने रख के कर रहा हूँ उसके सामने. And he's like, he doesn't know what I'm doing or why I'm using different cards and making different transactions and coming on different days. But it worked out, and I actually got quite a bit back, at least like a lakh and a half worth of benefits just on that 7.5 lakh card purchase.
तो आपने उसको किस चीज़ पे यूज़ किया, that 1 lakh of benefits?
So I moved them to Accor hotels and I used them for certain hotel stays. Amex points are used for Marriott stays. So different cards transfer to different partners at different ratios. That's why it becomes difficult. So you have to figure out which card is going to give you the best value. And sometimes it's not about the best value. It's about आप कहाँ जा रहे हो, कहाँ रह रहे हो, क्या plan है आपका, what is comfortable for you. So all of those things come into account when you're planning your trip. So it got me at least 1.5 lakh rupees worth of free hotel stays that I used periodically over the course of a year and a half. अभी birthday था, family को ले गया, all of those things.
अगर हमारे पास certain points है तो उनको एयर माइल्स या होटल लॉयल्टी प्रोग्राम्स में ट्रांसफ़र करके उनकी वैल्यू कैसे बढ़ती है?
That's a very good question, and इसका जो answer है is actually very complex because there are transfer ratios. जो आपके पास 1000 पॉइंट है तो वो कितने पॉइंट्स ट्रांसफ़र होंगे इन दैट लॉयल्टी प्रोग्राम, वो लॉयल्टी प्रोग्राम के पॉइंट्स का वैल्यू क्या है. सो टू सिंप्लीफाई इट, टू मेक इट समवॉट ईजियर, आई एक्चुअली हैव समथिंग दैट आई विल शेयर विद यू. Yeah, so on my screen here, you'll see that I'm on the reward seat checker tool for Virgin Atlantic. Now, Virgin Atlantic is an airline in London or UK. Now, every single airline will have some form of reward seat checker or mileage chart to see how many points it takes to travel from A to B.
ठीक है.
Right? So, similar to आपका revenue का जो price रहता है, revenue मतलब जो आप पैसे से बुक करते हो, लेट्स से यू आर बुकिंग अ फ्लाइट फॉर 10,000 रुपीज़, वो कल आपको 10,000 का देखेगा, परसों 12,000 13,000 डिपेंडिंग ऑन डायनामिक रेट्स एंड सीजनैलिटी, राइट? तो सेम वे पॉइंट्स का भी सिचुएशन फॉर मेजॉरिटी एयरलाइंस इज डायनामिक, राइट? सो if you look here, if I want to go from, let's say, a Bangalore to a London, right? और ये आप अच्छे से प्लान कर रहे हो फॉर द फ्यूचर, लेट्स से वी वांट टू गो इन मे फॉर एग्जांपल, राइट? आपको ये पूरा दिखेगा वेयर यू कैन सी द होल मे का availability is available right here, and the pricing that you see here, for example Sunday the 10th, you can see it's 30,000 points to go via economy, right? But at the same time 2 दिन बाद आप 12th को जाओगे तो 6,000 पॉइंट है. Do you see the dynamic fluctuation is so vast? जो आपका रेवेन्यू में इतना वास्ट नहीं रहता है, राइट? आपका फ्लाइट मिनिमम you're from Delhi, Bombay to Delhi, minimum आपका 5,000 तो होगा,
easy.
right? In peak season it'll go to 10, worst case maybe it'll go to 12, but you'll never get it for 2,000 and 20,000, right?
करेक्ट. यहाँ पे फ्लक्चुएशन का जो स्कोप है, डाइवर्जेंस जो है वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा है.
Exactly, and that divergence in certain cases for business class flights is even more. If you can see here, Friday the 15th, your business class flight is 1,65,000 points. और ये बिजनेस क्लास का जो सीट भी है वो 1.5-2 लाख रुपए का होता है इफ़ यू वांट टू फ्लाई बिजनेस क्लास 9 hours डायरेक्टली टू लंदन फ्रॉम बैंगलोर, राइट? बट 4 दिन बाद आपका बिजनेस क्लास का फेयर 23,000 पॉइंट्स है.
तो ये सिर्फ डिमांड सप्लाई फैक्टर्स की वजह से इतना डिस्पैरिटी है, इतना डेविएशन है, या फिर इज इट ऑल्सो बिकॉज ऑफ सम अदर फैक्टर्स?
It's based on a lot of factors. Demand supply is one of them. A lot of airlines have different categories. Some are mileage based. जैसे आप अगर 10,000 किलोमीटर जा रहे हो, so it will have a fixed price. Between 5 to 10,000 kilometers हम यही price charge करेंगे. So it's distance based, it's dynamic, it's seasonality based. There are different factors that go into it. For example, Vistara used to have a fixed award chart. From Mumbai to Bangalore, it was just 4,000 points. 4,000 points. And normally in rupees also, Mumbai to Bangalore, 4,000 rupees. 4,000 रुपए लगते थे. Now, what happened to me a couple years back when I was in Bangalore, I lived alone in Bangalore, had a nice house, I was working my job, and one day I got dengue. I got a 103 fever. I was sick. I could not get out of bed. I was really sick. I just called, and it was, I think, during Diwali time or some festival time where none of my friends were also really available at the time. They came, they helped out, but it was just difficult. So I called my mom and I was like, Ma, can you come to Bangalore? I need some help. A few years back. And she was looking for a ticket. And it was 12,000 rupees because she wanted wo same day or next day ka ticket, right? But because Vistara had a fixed award chart and we found one seat, I flew her in for 4,000 points. So I'm like dying dengue. I'm like, nahi ruko, मैं points पे check करता हूँ.
Oh my god.
And
That's both like sad and funny.
Yeah, and I booked her in at 4,000 points instead of spending 12,000 rupees. तो यहाँ पे मेरा point value 3x हो गया.
Correct.
Right? Normally I would have spent 12,000 rupees for that flight. Right? But I got it because it was a fixed award chart for 4,000 points. Right? Which was otherwise going to be 4,000 rupees. And the same way, dynamic ones can give you this benefit.
Basically जैसे Google Flights काम करता है उसी तरह you can see the layout across months and for different seats and so on.
Absolutely. And some airlines you can go and do this for individually, like this is the one for Virgin Atlantic. Then Singapore Air will have their own flight tracker to give you an idea of how much it would be. But if you want to make it even simpler, there's a site called seats.aero.
अच्छा.
This is a site which is an aggregator for points. तो यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो I'm going Delhi to Amsterdam sometime in let's say February. तो यहाँ पे it will tell me what are the cheapest point options and which airline can I use those points on to get the cheapest point fares. जो आप Google Flights और Sky Scanner पे करते हो कि February में मुझे एम्स्टरडैम जाना है, कौन सा सबसे सस्ता एयरलाइन है, कौन सा डेट है. द सेम वे यू कैन डू इट फॉर पॉइंट्स. सो दिस इज लाइक योर स्काई स्कैनर फॉर पॉइंट्स एंड नोबडी इन इंडिया इवन नोज कि इतना इन डेप्थ में होता है.
Oh wow, this is really cool. I had no idea about this tool. इससे तो काम काफ़ी सिंपल हो जाता होगा.
Correct. So if you can see that like Aeroplan, Qantas, all of these, but it is very complex because, for example, I'll tell you, Aeroplan is Canada का airline.
Okay.
It's Air Canada's program is called Aeroplan, right? But to understand कि हम एयर कनाडा पे इंडिया से एम्स्टर्डम जा रहे हैं, उसमें कनाडा रिलेटेड है ही नहीं, राइट? बट कनाडा पे हमको सबसे सस्ता फ्लाइट मिल रहा है. So how is that possible? And that is another conversation altogether when we talk about airline alliances. Three big families where most airlines are running together. And why alliances actually exist is because अभी मुझे let's say Turkey से Bangalore जाना है.
ठीक है.
Now Turkish Airlines is available. Now Turkish Airlines, let's say वो दिन पे they only have a flight from Turkey to Mumbai.
Okay.
But मुझे Bangalore जाना है, right? So on that same flight or on that same airline booking, because Air India and Turkish are part of the Star Alliance program, you can book connecting flights directly. You can, on that same PNR, you're able to book Turkey to Bombay to Bangalore. And the first flight will be Turkish. And the second flight, you're still booking on the Turkish Airlines site, but it's going to be an Air India flight from Mumbai to Bangalore. So because of these connectivity issues and not all airlines going to all airports at the same date, they have alliances where they help each other out. You might have your first flight from India to Frankfurt in a certain airline in Air India,
Lufthansa or
then a
something.
Lufthansa from, yeah, like from
Got it.
Frankfurt to US, or depending.
तभी एयरलाइंस वो हब एंड स्पोक मॉडल को ऑपरेट करती हैं. दे फ्लाई यू टू द बिगेस्ट सेंटर एंड वहाँ से फिर एक कनेक्टिंग फ्लाइट होती है.
Correct, and they have to be part of the same alliance usually to make that booking on the same. एक ही booking आप PNR पे दो अलग अलग airlines कर रहे हो, right? So that's where alliances come in, and that's why it was formed.
Speaking of connecting flights, I remember seeing a viral video of yours जहाँ पे आपने बात की थी कि आपने एक ही टिकट पे एक और कंट्री भी घूम ली. सो इट वाज फ्रॉम पॉइंट ए टू बी, बट बिकॉज ऑफ अ ले ओवर और सम एक्सकर्जन आप एक और कंट्री घूमाए. हाउ डिड दैट हैपन?
So that's actually a very common practice, and a lot of people do that even on revenue fares, but you can do it with points also now. It's become very common. The most common one is the Singapore Air stopover. For example, let's say you want to fly Singapore Air from India. So India से Singapore आप जाओगे, which is the biggest hub. तो Singapore से और कहाँ अच्छी अच्छी जगह है? There's Japan, there's Hong Kong, there's Thailand, there's Australia, there's western part of the US, which is the California side. You fly this side of the world, not the regular side. Now, let's say you're leaving on Jan 1st, you can fly to Singapore. You can actually stop over in Singapore for 3 or 4 days, and then you can fly to Australia after 4 days by going back to the airport on that same PNR. And on the site itself, you don't have to call anybody. On the site itself, it says you can plug in your stopover. तो वो सेम टिकट पे आप फर्स्ट को सिंगापुर पहुंच रहे हो, वो सेम टिकट पे आप 4 तारीख को वापस ऑस्ट्रेलिया जा सकते हो ऑन द सेम नंबर ऑफ पॉइंट्स विदाउट स्पेंडिंग एनीथिंग एक्स्ट्रा एंड कवर बोथ द कंट्रीज.
दैट्स इनसेन. सो सिर्फ फ्लाइट के चार्जेस आर कवर्ड हियर, तो वहाँ पे जो स्टे होगा और फूड के पे जो खर्चे होंगे, दैट इज़ नॉट कवर्ड.
There are a lot of airlines that partner with governments to promote a stopover program to increase tourism in their countries, and they have different offers. जैसे अभी there's an airline called ANA, which is All Nippon Airways. It's Japan का सबसे बड़ा airline, right? And now they have an offer where you can fly to Japan, direct India to Japan on ANA, and you can book your return flight also on ANA. और एक बीच का जो flight है, which is your domestic flight. Let's say you land in Tokyo, but Japan's slightly big. You don't want to only see Tokyo. You want to maybe go to Osaka. You want to go to Kyoto.
Yeah.
You want to go to a lot of those places, right? And you can either take a speed train, or ANA will tell you हम आपका एक domestic flight भी include कर लेंगे. So you can book Mumbai, Tokyo, Tokyo, Osaka, Osaka, Mumbai on the same ticket and get that feature as well, the excursion, which is the middle flight for free.
ओह, सो अगर फ्लाइट इज़ अ राउंड ट्रिप बिटवीन दिल्ली टू टोक्यो, बीच के जो डोमेस्टिक फ्लाइट्स है विद इन जापान वो सारे फ्री हो जाते हैं इस प्रोग्राम के अंडर.
Correct. So there's a lot of programs that do that. United used to do it. I think they've stopped now. United Airlines US का है, and it's not a return. It's a multi-city because you're going from Delhi to Tokyo, Tokyo to Osaka, and you're flying out from Osaka. You don't have to go back to Tokyo on the same ticket. So that's a great way to do it. And like I said, governments support this initiative also by giving subsidies in certain hotel stays. Like for example, in Doha or in Qatar with Qatar Airways, which is a hub. Let's say you're flying to the US via Qatar Airways. They will actually give you a free night, and they'll make that visa easy for you to get if you're transiting through Qatar to actually stay 1 or 2 nights to increase their tourism. You'll come there, एक hotel free में रहोगे, फिर भी आप spend तो करोगे, you'll spend on food, you'll go sightseeing, all of that. In layman terms, a layover only when it's less than 24 hours. If you're staying more than a day, it's called a stopover.
ओके तो वो की फ़र्क है बिटवीन लेओवर एंड स्टॉप ओवर, एंड स्टॉप ओवर से ही हम ये एक्सकर्जन्स कर सकते हैं ऑफ कोर्स. अंडरस्टूड. नाउ स्पीकिंग ऑफ ऑल दीज प्रोग्राम्स एंड द बेनिफिट्स जो कार्ड्स ऑफर करते हैं, एक बहुत बड़ा रिस्क जो होता है वो है डीवैल्यूएशन, कि अभी दैट बेनिफिट एग्जिस्ट बट कल शायद ना करे. तो हाउ डू यू डील विद दैट?
So this ties back to my first point of when I said कि अगर आप क्रेडिट कार्ड्स का थोड़ा सीख लेते हो कि कैसे यूसेज है, कौन सा कार्ड आपके लिए सही है, वो कौन सा कार्ड आपके लिए सही है हर साल चेंज होते रहेगा. So 2024 maybe I had a set of 3 cards which were right for me. 2025 I have a set of 3 cards. 2026 I have a set of a few cards which are right for me, and those keep changing because of changes, devaluations, because of my spending power increasing or decreasing, or my needs at that point of time. So that's where when you look at a devaluation, you first think, okay, how long has this card been active? How long has this feature been active? How many people are talking about it? Those kind of things. जैसे Axis Atlas was a great card for the last 2 or 3 years. It's not been devalued, but it's been discontinued for newer users because they got so much hype. You should always get a card if it's good, if it meets your needs, if you're thinking कि हाँ ये I can use this. And even if you use it for 3-6 months and it gets devalued, it's okay. We'll find another card. We'll find another way to use it. We'll find another benefit, because honestly, fintech in India is still very nascent. And one of the best ways to increase adoption or increase user adoption for any fintech or any consumer-based app or getting habits is by giving cashback, is by burning money. जब Uber India में आया था, कितने फ़ोन नंबर्स हम यूज़ किए थे टू गेट 1 फ्री राइड. राइट,
इट्स जस्ट वीसी मनी जो बिल्कुल ऐसे
तो
टूट जाता है.
गूगल पे जब आया था, कितने स्क्रैच कार्ड पे हमको एक्चुअली कैशबैक मिला था, क्रेडिट पे कितना मिला था. नाउ इट्स ऑल टेपर्ड डाउन वंस दे हैव वो हैबिट फॉर्मेशन स्टार्ट हो गया.
Yeah, they build that dependency and then you just
Correct.
can't switch.
So some of these cards are burning money to give you those benefits, just to build that habit formation कि हाँ आप ये कार्ड यूज़ करो. But the moment that card devalues, there will be another player who's gonna start burning money to give you benefits in the future, right? And as a consumer, it's your right to hop on that trend.
I remember seeing your Instagram story जहाँ आपने mention किया था कि 2026 में आपका कार्ड स्टैक फिर से change होगा. तो what does that look like and हर कार्ड का क्या purpose है उसमें?
Absolutely. So very simply put, my card stack has simplified to the maximum now. For example, this year I used a lot of the Axis Atlas. My major card stack or my major spending was on these 3 cards last year. I used the American Express Platinum Travel Card. If you spend 4 lakhs on it, you get extra points. 4 lakhs के बाद आपको कोई ज़्यादा points नहीं मिलते. Like you don't get any extra. So I just spent 4 lakhs in a year, get those extra points. And I use that because the transfer ratio of this card is very good for Marriott hotels.
अच्छा, ठीक है.
And I love staying at nice Marriott hotels, so I transferred my points to Marriott there. The second card I use a lot of is the Axis Atlas card. This card I spent around 15 lakhs last year on and got a lot of benefits, again for hotels as well as some flights. I did my whole Thailand, China, Hong Kong trip for free earlier this year just by spending on this card. I think flights, hotels, at least 3 or 4 lakhs worth of benefits I got just from these 2 cards idly.
That's crazy. Okay.
And the third card I used was more of a luxury pick, and for vouchers it was the Times Black card. So this card I used in 2025 for a lot of like airport pickups, concierge services. Then they have great reward rates on buying vouchers where you get 12% off. My Amazon के vouchers खरीद के 9 to 12% I used to get on vouchers, and I used to pay my electricity bills, my utilities, all of that through Amazon. So there's a lot of things you can do to get an average of 10 to 15% returns on your credit card spending.
Okay. So बस ये 3 कार्ड है?
I have other cards as well. For example, the best combo for the American Express Platinum Travel Card. This is great for Marriott stays. राइट. सो ये मैं पॉइंट्स ट्रांसफ़र करके 3-4 रात फ्री में मैरियट में रुक जाऊंगा ऑन माई नेक्स्ट वेकेशन. राइट नाउ इसके साथ देयर इज़ अनदर कार्ड कॉल्ड द Marriott Bonvoy card. Now this card, as soon as you get it, gives you 1 free night up to 15,000 points. So इसके जो points है मैरियट में ट्रांसफ़र किया, इसके जस्ट ज्वाइनिंग में ही मुझे 15,000 पॉइंट मिल गए. सो आई एड एन एक्स्ट्रा नाइट टू दैट वेकेशन just by getting this card.
Okay.
And this card cost me 3,000 rupees. So 3,000 rupees mein I added an extra one night vacation, which probably was worth around 15,000-20,000 rupees based on the hotel I'm looking at. So there are card combos also. But this card I don't spend a lot of money on. I don't use it very often because the return rate is not good on swiping or spending. My major expenses are done on these three cards, but there are always add-on cards that you will take and use on and off just as additional benefits. Marriott Bonvoy was one of them. The other one was Scapia. I use this for airport privileges. Everyone's crazy about lounge access, but people who've been going to the lounge actually hate it now because it's getting more and more crowded.
सब लोग लाउंज में पहुंच गए हैं, इससे अच्छा तो लाउंज के बाहर बैठ जाओ जहाँ पे कम भीड़ होगी.
हाँ, तो ये कार्ड मुझे स्पेंड करने दे रहा है on anything at the airport. So I can spend up to 1,000 rupees at a McDonald's, at a Starbucks, at any shop at the lounge, up to 1,000 for free. I'll get
Okay.
$1,000 back on any spend of 1,000 rupees or higher. So
Okay.
that's how it works. As a content creator, I go for podcasts, I go for events, I travel for leisure, I travel for work. In certain months, I have, for example, just this month, I have Mumbai, Bangalore, then I have Kochi, then I have Lucknow. So I've got about 6 flights back and forth just this month, right? That's 6 times I can use this and get $6,000 for free. It's a free card. So these are add-on cards that just amplify your benefits. But my daily spend last year or towards this year end is these 3 cards: the Amex Plat Travel, the Times Black, and the Atlas. This year in 2026, your question was what am I going to be using and what are my uses going to be? And those are going to be just these 2 cards. That is the HDFC Biz Black. This is like an Infinia equivalent, but for business owners.
अच्छा.
And you can pay your taxes on this, GST on this, all of this, and get a lot of points back.
I guess for freelancers and self-employed or business people, this card is में highest ROI मिलता होगा.
This is definitely the best card of 2024, 2025. It's one of the best cards out there and it's very high ROI. The ITR requirement is very high though. I think they've upped it to now 40 lakhs. Now, as a business owner showing 40 lakhs income, when I say showing, it's, your business owners in general have a lot of expenses. They have a high top line, they have high revenue, but then their profits and the ITR that they actually get is usually not that high. So it's not that easy to show a 40 lakh ITR, but I think it's still one of the best cards in India today.
तो टैक्स पेमेंट्स लाइक GST ITR पे भी आपको इससे पॉइंट्स या रिवॉर्ड्स मिलते हैं.
Yeah, so I'm going to be using this primarily to book my flights and hotels. Depending, I'll be using either this one or the Axis Magnus Burgundy.
Okay.
So these are the 2 cards that I'm going to be spending on. Burgundy is a very unique card that makes you want to throw away your other cards. The reason is because this card, say every card gives you certain points on how much you spend. This card gives you 12 points when you spend 200 rupees. Basic concept, 12 points, 200 spent kiya. This card, when you spend more than 1.5 lakh rupees in a month, then everything above 1.5 lakh rupees is going to give you 35 points per 200 rupees spent, which is triple the number of points.
So they're incentivizing you to spend more.
They're incentivizing you to spend more on this card
on
only.
that card, yeah.
So that's why I don't want to spend on the other cards that I have now if I'm going above 1.5 lakh in that month.
उसमें कोई कैप है या फिर नहीं? Oh.
The cap is there. The cap is your credit limit.
Oh yeah.
And it's actually in the TNC that your credit limit plus 1.5 is the maximum points you can earn per month. The reason I got this card is my monthly expenses don't go above 2.5-3 lakh rupees per month. But for certain months, like in 2026, I am planning to upgrade my car, buy a new car where I might put a 10 lakh down payment.
उसमें this would really help, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this would help really well on that. This is going to help on my GST purchases and my utilities, and as well as my flights or hotels if I want to use the Smart Buy portal. And both of them have very different redemptions as well. I will use all the points here towards hotels because they have a really high conversion to Accor hotels. And this one I will use towards Singapore Airlines because they have a good conversion for Singapore Airlines. So my next trip next year is going to be planned towards the end of the year for a free trip to Bali, which is a 7.5-8 hour flight I'll fly business using the points I earn on this. I will stay at luxury hotels using the points I earn on this and get a 4-5 lakh vacation just because I know how.
That is the dream. भाई मेरे को तो ये सही में goals लग रहा है. But if we talking about utility expenses, insurance premium and education fees, उसके लिए आप कौन सा card recommend करोगे? उसके लिए भी I'm guessing BizBlack for certain ones.
Yeah, so education fees, up until now, the Access cards still give you points only if you pay directly on the education portal. If you're paying it through a third party like a Cred or a housing.com or any other app that lets you pay your education fees, those don't give you points. But I don't have any school fees to worry about.
Of course.
But that's one. The second was utility payments. You can either pay through a card like this one and get the regular rewards, which would give you about 3.3%. But you can also buy vouchers. Now, I pay my utilities through Amazon, and Amazon accepts Amazon Pay as an option. So I will first go to an Amex gifter. I might still use this one. Or I might just go to HDFC Smart Buys gifter portal and buy vouchers for Amazon, which would give me a higher return rate. And I'll add that Amazon balance to my Amazon account. और वो Amazon balance से ही मैं मेरा insurance utilities pay कर सकता हूँ. And I'll earn extra points because even if cards don't give you points on utilities, you can bypass it by buying vouchers.
I guess it also helps in situations जहाँ let's say you're going out and eating at a restaurant and they don't accept your preferred card. So those case maybe this route might help, right? To still get rewards.
Absolutely. So a lot of the restaurants I'll go to, I will probably pay by Dine Out or pay by Zomato because I can use Amazon Pay balance, or I can use Swiggy money or Zomato money from the app itself, which I have bought from my voucher.
तो आप voucher को उन app से link करोगे and then you can get not just a discount on the total bill and also like reward points.
And accelerated reward points. ये कार्ड में अगर रेस्टोरेंट में जाके यूज़ करूँ तो मुझे वो बेस 5 points per 100 जो भी उसका conversion है मिलेगा. But if I buy a voucher, they give you let's say 5x points or 3x points, right? तो मुझे 25 points मिलेंगे per 100 instead of the normal 5 on buying a 10,000 rupee Swiggy voucher. वो 10,000 Swiggy voucher आप Swiggy के ऐप पे अब भी ऐड कर सकते हो and it becomes money. And then you can pay using Dine Out on that. If you use those points the right way, like I showed you finding nice slices, that वो 5x points का भी value can be a lot better depending on how you use the points.
काफ़ी hacky. What do you think about cashback cards जैसे SBI cashback or there is Tata New Infinity or even Super Money for that matter? इनमें से भी which is the card that you think is the king for cashbacks?
I think it's natural progression when you ask me about what I think about cashback cards. I think they're great, but it depends on your usage. So the points you earn or the cashback you get is a subset or a percentage of your expense. Earlier in life, आपको इतने points नहीं मिलेंगे unless you're spending high enough, right? So even if you spend on a reward points card for a year, आपको max to max maybe if you're spending 20-30,000 a month, you get 1 or 2 nights at a hotel. उससे अच्छा you probably use a cashback card and get 5 to 10% saved in money. So I think that cashback cards are great for that. And as you spend more, जैसे आपका spend 50, 60, 80,000 a month जाता है for different categories, then you get into the reward points game, because that's when you'll significantly be able to get a free flight and 2 nights at a hotel. Otherwise, with lower spends, it's not possible.
Got it. I guess at lower spends level, फिर priorities भी फिर अलग हो जाती है. It's about building a credit history to get a better card and फिर उस पे actual ROI दिखने को मिलता है.
And then you start seeing the cashback coming in. And then if you want to accelerate that cashback from 5% to 10% and then enjoy some finer luxuries, sometimes I will pick a 5% cashback over a 10% back in hotel stays. Because hotel prices in general, when you're living at a 5-star, it is inflated. Uske bagal mein there'll be an Airbnb that will be half the price. So cashback cards aren't bad. It's just what your priorities are. I actually come from a hospitality background, so I love hotels in general. I love staying at hotels, visiting different resorts and those kind of things. It's a passion of mine. So I will always choose the hotel points. Somebody else who doesn't like traveling will choose a cashback card. So SBI cashback is good. Tata Neo is good. I'll tell you one that released this year that's my favorite. It's called the SBI PhonePe Select Black Card.
Okay.
Yeah,
उसके क्या features हैं?
It's a co-branded card with PhonePe and SBI, and it gives you the same 5% cashback with a slightly lesser cap on all platforms. So you get 5% cashback everywhere, like SBI cashback. But it also gives you 10% cashback on payments on the PhonePe app, which include insurance, utilities, I think other payments like maybe even education, I'm not sure. But for somebody who has insurance spends, somebody who has utility spends, someone who has regular spends, you're getting cash back on all categories. SBI cashback's not giving you points on utilities, and no card's giving you 10% back on your utilities and insurance.
UPI payments के लिए best card कौन सा है?
UPI you think is something that is very, very used by everybody, very, very common. But UPI cards in general, I would never recommend to even the commoner.
क्यों?
Because UPI cards are very, very misinterpreted or mismarketed as use it on UPI everywhere and you will get points. Right now, UPI only works when it's a merchant, when that person has a merchant QR code. If you show me your UPI code right now and tell me, Ali, मुझे 100 रुपए भेज, and I send you 100 रुपए, मुझे उस पे cashback नहीं मिलेगा.
हाँ.
That's peer to peer.
Right.
Only when it's a registered merchant, like if I go to a salon, even if it's a small salon that doesn't accept cards, I can use UPI and get 5% cash back on a Kiwi card or 3% cash back on an Access Super Money, which by the way are the two best ones right now, depending on your usage. But how much of that, Arunima, will you be using on UPI? You only tell me. How much do you spend on a merchant where you're going to use UPI, get the points, because your rickshaw wala is not going to give you points on UPI. Your sabzi wala is not going to give you points on UPI. Maybe your local kirana store to some extent will. But if you're going to a D-Mart, why will you use UPI? Use a card. D-Mart पे तो card चलता है, which will give you more than 3% that your UPI card is giving, right? So the subset is that, see, your local ones don't give you points. The mid-range or high-range ones, you're better off using your cards. So only a certain area where you can use UPI but not card is where a UPI card actually makes sense. और in that subset, आपका महीने का कितना खर्चा वहाँ पे जाता है? 5,000, 3,000, और उसका आप 2 या 3% ले रहे हो. Sure, fine. If that's important to you, get a UPI card. But for me, I don't want the hassle. I use Kiwi all of 2025, but I don't think I'm going to be using UPI cards in 2026.
Understood. बीच में आपकी एक रील बहुत वायरल गई थी which was about how आप गोल्ड परचेजेस पे एक ऐसे प्राइस पे उसको खरीदते थे जो 15 to 20% था below the market price. How did you manage that?
हाँ, so I've accumulated about 30-40 grams of gold in the last 1 year, and touch wood, that's really seen good growth, and that's all been through pretty good rates that I got them at through platforms. Now, you can buy gold on platforms like Myntra, Ajio, etc. I think Myntra is the most popular, where you get Tanish gold coins, you get Mia by Tanish, you get Kalyan Jwala gold coins, and they are slightly marked up. Where, for example, अगर gold rate 13,000 रुपए का है, like per gram, 24 carat. On Myntra, it will be 13.7 or 13.8. I was talking in 10 gram concept. So it's marked up by about 6 or 7%, sometimes even 10%, right? So a lot of people see that and they're like, अरे ये तो ज़्यादा expensive है. But there are different sales that Myntra runs. Sometimes these midnight sales, sometimes sales where you get discounts on buying these gold coins. Just Myntra के voucher coupon codes नहीं होते when you buy stuff. So there's one deal that keeps coming every week or so. It's called Blink Deal 10. ऐसा कोड है.
Blink Deal 10. अच्छा वो कोड है.
हाँ वो कोड है. तो it keeps changing, but it keeps coming out. Lots of people talk about it on different platforms. Now through that code, you get about a 5 to 7% discount on the gold. So for example, जो आपका markup price है Myntra का, जो 13,000 का आपको बार मिल रहा है, 13,700 Myntra पे मिल रहा है, वो Blink Deal 10 आपका वापस 13,000 तक कर देता है. That discount is nullifying the markup that Myntra charges. You will use a credit card that you can buy Myntra or Amazon vouchers with. For example, keep it simple with Myntra. Like Myntra Pay, I will use the Times Black card and I will open up the Times Black का portal, which is called iShop, और यहाँ से मैं vouchers खरीदूंगा. You can buy Myntra vouchers. Now they've capped it. I think there's a 12,000 cap per voucher you can buy per month. So if you buy a Myntra voucher from here, you will get 6x points. तो इस कार्ड पे आपको standard 2% returns मिलता है. तो अगर मैं normally कुछ खरीद रहा हूँ Myntra से, मुझे 2% back मिल रहा है ये कार्ड पे. But if I buy the Myntra voucher on the ICICI portal, मुझे 6x मिलता है, मतलब 12% back मिलता है. और अगर आप इससे हायर कार्ड एमरल्ड प्राइवेट यूज़ कर रहे हो, विच इज़ द टॉप एंड ICICI कार्ड, उस पर आपको 18% बैक मिलेगा ऑन बाइंग द मिंत्रा वाउचर. सो यू यूज़ द कोड 13,700 का 13 हुआ, फिर आप 13,000 रुपीज़ वर्थ ऑफ मिंत्रा वाउचर्स खरीदो, एंड दैट विल गिव यू 18% बैक इन पॉइंट्स, एंड यू विल ऐड दैट मिंत्रा बैलेंस टू योर अकाउंट, and you will then buy the gold coin, right? So you didn't get direct cash back, but you got 18% back in points, which is worth at least 18,000 or 1,800 rupees in this scenario.
Very interesting. I think इन लोगों ने cap किया होगा after seeing your video because they realizes यहाँ पे एक gap
Yeah, I
है
get a lot
system
of
में.
hate for that. But yes, I'm pretty sure too.
And I do remember watching another video जहाँ आपने कहा था कि you saved lakhs in your wedding expenses because of credit cards. What did you mean by that exactly?
There are certain cards, or there was a card, I have it, it's called the Axis Atlas card. इस कार्ड का बेस रिटर्न रेट अराउंड 4 और 5% है. अगर आप होटल्स में ट्रांसफ़र करते हो तो 10% रिटर्न रेट है. मतलब अगर मैं इस पे 100 रुपये स्पेंड कर रहा हूँ, मुझे 10 रुपीज़ बैक इन एन एकॉर्ड स्टे मिल रहा है. Now, what this card used to do is that if you spend it at a hotel, आप मैरियट जा रहे हो, कोई भी होटल पे जा रहे हो, और आप ये कार्ड डायरेक्टली स्वाइप या टैप कर रहे हो, आपको 5x पॉइंट्स मिलते हैं, और 5 पॉइंट्स पर whatever. So the return rate comes up to 20-25%. So most people, or at least people who are getting married, try to get married in a 4-star resort, 3-star resort, 5-star resort, depending on your budget or whatever, right?
Correct.
Or वहाँ पे there is the banquet cost, there is this cost, that cost, all of that, and the banquet manager will come to you with a POS machine to pay the banquet charges. तो पूरा आपका wedding का अगर एक marriott hotel कर रहा है, for example, let's say you're getting married at Le Méridien, right? Now there your whole hotel bill will be 15 lakh, 20 lakh रुपए or whatever, right? So this card gives you accelerated points, 20% back in hotels, up to 2 lakhs every month. I used to work in hotels, so I know how it works when banqueting and things happen. So you can always build up a plan कि हाँ मेरा 15 लाख का wedding है, हर महीने, अभी 6 महीने बाद है, हर महीने मैं आपको 2-3 लाख रुपए का installment दूंगा, and by the wedding it will be paid up. So there are these installment plans that you don't have to pay 15 lakhs to the hotel 6 months in advance. तो हर महीने आप 2-2 महीने you can plan it out with them. They're flexible.
Flexibility वो देते हैं.
100%.
अच्छा, nice.
They want your business.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you go to the hotel, keep swiping this card, and that's how on like a 15 lakh wedding expense, you can get 2 to 4 lakh rupees back, and your honeymoon becomes free, basically.
तो आपने 2 to 4 lakh rupees इससे सेव किए because you use your card for wedding expenses. Now इसके बाद let's say you want to plan your honeymoon, right? बिजनेस क्लास टिकट्स के लिए व्हाट इज़ मोर एक्सपेंसिव? इज़ इट डायरेक्टली कैश के थ्रू पे करना या फिर रिवॉर्ड पॉइंट्स के थ्रू टिकट्स को बुक करना?
To answer it in a very simple manner, credit card points, when you use them on luxury hotels or you use them on business class flights, give you the maximum value or the multiple of reward returns. Let's say आपके पास 20,000 पॉइंट है और वो पॉइंट्स ट्रांसफ़र होते हैं at a 1:1 ratio. Right? Let's say I transfer these points, and if I want an economy ticket, right? Economy ticket अगर आप Mumbai to Paris, Mumbai to Hong Kong, whatever आप देखोगे, it would be around 20 to 25,000 rupees. Same way आप points में देखोगे तो economy ticket 20 to 25,000 points रहता है. So a lot of times your point value in economy is 1 rupee is 1 point. Now when you use it at Accor hotels, the value per point is 2 rupees. So you're better off using it at a luxury hotel if you want to stay at that luxury hotel because you're getting double point value. वो same economy flight 20,000 रुपए का है, we just spoke about it.
Correct.
If you book it in rupees, that business class flight in rupees would probably be at least 4x, which is 80,000. 80,000 rupees. तो इसलिए 20,000 रुपए का जो फ्लाइट है इकोनॉमी एंड 80,000 इज बिजनेस, अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर लाइक अरे मुझे 4x क्यों स्पेंड करना है.
करेक्ट.
बट व्हेन यू लुक इन पॉइंट्स, आप पॉइंट्स पे टॉगल करोगे तो अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स यू विल सी कि इकोनॉमी 20,000 बट पॉइंट्स में 40,000, पॉइंट्स में 50,000. सो यूजुअली द पॉइंट वैल्यू ऑफ booking in points for business class flights is much lower than booking in revenue.
Okay.
And that's why HNIs who really value, even if you're rich, even if you're an HNI, even if you have a lot of money, even if you have FU money, you're thinking that I'm spending 3.5 lakhs on this Emirates flight ticket, when an economy ticket is 50K or when a premium economy ticket is 80K. Or chalo, I don't mind spending 3.5 lakhs on that business class ticket. अभी जाना आना 6 लाख रुपए हो गया, वाइफ को भी ले जाना है 12 लाख रुपए हो गया, 2 बच्चे हैं, उनको मैं इकोनॉमी में बिठाऊं. तो even when you're rich and that one ticket is 3 lakh rupees, but that one trip is not 3 lakh rupees.
Correct.
So even when you're rich, that business class trip actually adds up. And that's why so many HNIs come up to me, be it cricketers, industrialists, actors, comedians, Bollywood. So many people ask me, Ali, how do I use my points the right way? And at the same time, the middle class is thinking, Arey, they don't care about points. Unko kya hai? They are just gonna travel. Unka to paisa hai. But they don't realize that that paisa adds up when you're looking at these expensive flights. And these guys are the ones who want to save the most because they have the spending power also.
Redemption wise, business class has the highest ROI.
Business class and hotels can be interchangeable depending on your usage. I like staying at hotels. I'd pay more for a hotel and skimp out on a flight sometimes. I'd pay more for a flight if it's a long duration flight. Agar 7-8-9 घंटे का है.
Long haul flights के लिए. Got it.
Now, there's mindset behind that or thought process. ये ऐसा क्यों है? Because credit card companies want to reward you. आप पहले क्या 3-star होटल में रहते थे या आप Airbnb में रहते थे, एक बार 5-star होटल में जाओ. Then again next vacation पे भी आपको 5-star में ही जाना होगा. Points नहीं भी होंगे, then you'll try to book it on that. Once you sit in business class, you'll try that, okay, फिर से करूँ. Because you don't want to go back to economy. So they want you to taste the luxury so that you eventually spend more.
Yeah.
It is a very, very intended tactic.
Once you taste blood, there's no turning back.
Exactly.
And speaking of international travel, आपने कहा कि काफ़ी लोग स्केपिया जैसे कार्ड्स को प्रेफर करें क्योंकि लाउंज में तो सब अब घुसे पड़े हैं, तो नाउ एटलीस्ट यू गेट बेनिफिट्स आउटसाइड द लाउंज ऑल्सो. एंड एक और यूएसपी जैसे वो कहते हैं विच इज़ 0% फॉरेक्स मार्कअप. In international travel situations, would you prefer a card like Scapia जिसमें 0% forex markup है या फिर high rewards maximization वाले जो regular cards होते हैं?
My personal preference, and for anyone who's probably around my CIBIL scores, earning level, and level of ability to get cards. Like if you can get a good card, then you should always choose Forex positive cards. That is a credit card that has a ratio of a return rate of points higher than the Forex markup. I don't mind paying 1-2% Forex markup if I'm getting 3-5% back in points.
Okay, तो Ali math here is जो भी reward percentage है minus Forex markup उसको positive होना चाहिए for you to choose that card.
Simple. But at the same time, I won't go, like for example, this is the Access Atlas. It gives me 5% का approximate reward rate, but it charges me 4% in Forex fees. अगर मैं 1 लाख रुपए स्पेंड किया मुझे 5,000 वर्थ ऑफ पॉइंट्स मिलेगा. दैट 5,000 इज 5,000 वर्थ ऑफ अ फ्लाइट टिकट मे बी करेक्ट. बट व्हाट डिड आई स्पेंड टू गेट दिस 5,000? 4,000.
Right.
So I will choose a card that has a slightly low Forex markup, a 1-2% Forex markup. I don't mind spending an extra 1,000-2,000 here. But if I'm going for, I won't choose an Atlas, for example, because I feel like I'm spending for the benefit anyway.
Yeah.
I don't mind spending a little, maybe it's a mindset thing. I'll spend lower, 1%, 2% on a card that has a low Forex markup, get a 3-5% return rate, and then use that. But those cards usually have a high income level. You need a high income level to get those cards, right? Like an Infinia, like a DCB, like a Axis Magnus Burgundy. All of these have low Forex markup, like an Axis Olympus. Most people, to keep it simple, I just use a Scapia.
Understood. And in the last few years, जब से आप credit card use कर रहे हैं, what do you think are the dark patterns that exist in this space? क्योंकि काफ़ी बार होता है कि आपने कोई milestone achieve किया है, लेकिन automatically आपको benefit नहीं मिलता. कुछ manual intervention होता है, maybe it's a customer support call या फिर a special email that has to be dropped. Popular cards में वो कौन से dark patterns है that we should be wary about?
So in the last 1 or 2 years, as credit cards have gotten more prominent, and that fad has been passed on to common people trying to see how they can use credit cards better through influencers like myself and others, that has just exponentially increased after I started on Instagram. The banks actually put their ears up and they really have to, and they're like, okay, wait, all of our dark patterns are now being exposed by these influencers and those reels are going viral. So a lot of times banks have stopped issuing cards, banks have stopped, changed rules, devalued, all of those things. So there are a lot more restrictions coming out. Like 2-3 years back, rent was easily payable by cards, but now it's not. But for example, cappings. Yeah, you're getting this much cash back, but it's capped at this much. Like sometimes it's conveniently hidden. Sometimes it's Scapia is a great card. Scapia, I like it. I will promote it even if people say that, oh, it sucks, it's not good, whatever. I like Scapia. It's a good card. It's giving me good benefits. But they massively promote free lounge access, unlimited lounge access, free airport privileges.
काफी tweets देखे where people use the card and they didn't get lounge access.
No, that's because they are factually correct. Unlimited lounge access is correct. Free lounge access is correct. Free airport privileges is correct. But in the fine print, they'll say on a spend of 10,000 rupees a month. तो आप अगर 10,000 rupees spend करते हो on your card on whatever you want, फिर आपका airport privilege lounge access start होगा. And a lot of other cards do the same thing. So it's not wrong that they're doing it. It's just something that is marketed a certain way that the common person who has not really read the fine print thinks that, oh, अच्छा launch access मिल जाएगा, card ले लिया, गया launch पे नहीं चला because they didn't spend 10K, because they didn't spend 5 minutes reading about it.
According to you, कौन सा best lifetime free card है for domestic and international lounge access?
My favorite card for lounge access, by the way, is the Marriott Bonvoy card.
अच्छा.
This card costs 3,000 rupees and it gives me one free night at Marriott up to 15,000 points. So my 3,000 ka kharcha is paid for itself because I'm getting to stay at a Marriott and 3,000 rupees.
Got it.
Right? So it's like free, but that's in my head. मुझे 3,000 देना है, but I'm getting a free night, so for me it's free. And in this, it's on the Diners network, which is very well accepted at international lounges.
Okay.
So you get access to the Diners lounges. Now, this gives you 12 domestic and 12 international lounge access visits every year. So 12 domestic is good enough, 12 international is more than good enough. And you can get 3 add-on cards for your family members also. So they are also included in that 12. So 3,000 rupees may you're sorted out and you can get lounge access for your entire family, international and domestic. And in case you're somebody who doesn't want to spend even 3,000 rupees, then I like the Indecent Tiger card. Gives you 2 international visits. It gives you 8 domestic visits. It's free. It doesn't have any spending requirement, and it gives some other decent benefits as well. People don't like spending money on getting a credit card. मैं credit card लेने को पैसे क्यों दूँ? It's a mindset.
Yeah.
I've tried to change it. I've realized I can't. People will always apply for a lifetime free card.
On that note, thank you so much for your time, Ali. This was extremely helpful.
I'm happy to be here. It was a great conversation, and I honestly love talking about credit cards in general and spreading awareness. So thank you for having me.
अली के साथ हमने बात की on how to improve our credit history, how to maximize rewards in a very smart way, and 2026 के लिए उनके top credit card picks क्या हैं. आपका favorite credit card कौन सा है? हमारे साथ comments में ज़रूर share करें. This is Arunima Rao signing off. मिलते हैं अगली बार.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing. Please read the risk disclosure documents carefully before investing in equity shares, derivatives, mutual fund, and or other instruments traded